Good morning, everybody, or welcome. My name is Janelle Van. I'm down here in Tampa, Florida. I just wanted to come on and introduce myself and also introduce to you my partner, Andrea Goodhart. Good morning, Andrea. I guess it's
Good
afternoon for me,
morning.
but morning for everybody else. How are you today?
Good. Doing great. Lovely to be here today.
Excellent. Good to see you. For those of you who are on the call today, just a couple of housekeeping items. Want to give a shout out to Katie. Thank you for having us today from the Oregon Realtors. We are going to be together for an hour. As she mentioned in the chat, she is recording today's class, and she's given some instructions on where you can view this recorded version of today's class. This is kind of a unique webinar designed specifically for your association. So I'm super happy to be here. Let's go ahead and get started. She's gone ahead and pressed record, correct, Andrea?
Yes.
Okay, super. So today's class is called From Tech to Text, RPR's Powerful Data and AI Tools for Realtors. Again, my name is Janelle, and my good friend Andrea is going to be backing me up, answering any questions that might come to mind, and maybe even introducing some unique slides that we have prepared for you today. So our email addresses are both on this slide. You're welcome to take a photo of those and reach out to us after class if you have any questions. And today is going to be kind of a hybrid. We're going to definitely show off our brand new AI script writing tools, not only for residential, but we're also going to dive into the script writing tools to help you break down some of the commercial data. So it's an exciting class, lots of fun content to talk about. So let's go ahead and get started. Before we begin, I always just like to go over quickly what RPR is. If you're not familiar with our platform, we are Realtors Property Resource, and we are NAR's technology company. We are a wholly owned subsidiary of the National Association of Realtors. So what you have access to on our platform is a national database for both residential and commercial properties. So on our site, you can research neighborhood data, school information, market trends. You have a tremendous amount of marketing materials, including 2,000 mailing labels per month, Canva templates, reports that you can generate. So not only do you have a tremendous amount of research opportunities for your buyers and your sellers for both on-market as well as off-market properties, both residential and commercial, you also have a great deal of marketing materials that you have access to. So hopefully today we'll get to show you some of those cool features. Our platform was built exclusively for realtors. There's no consumer or public-facing access. There's no additional charge. And probably my favorite thing to mention is there's no ads, there's no distractions. Once you're on the RPR platform, you are good to go. There's nothing going to pop up asking you to upgrade your subscription or anything like that. So I'm always happy to share that. Now I'm going to hand the mic over to Andrea as she goes over some of our commercial data partnerships.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Janelle. Today we are looking at both, as Janelle mentioned, both the residential AI scriptwriter tools, but also the commercial side. And it's always fun to kind of expose our realtor members to all that's developed on the commercial side of RPR over the last several years. So as Janelle mentioned, not only do we have off-market data, but also as well listing data. And on the left side of the screen, you'll see highlighted several of our commercial data partners that provide listings nationwide. So whether you're just looking and entering into a commercial marketplace or doing a deal once in a while, but you need access and maybe referrals to some of the commercial information and listings, you will see those through some of our partners such as Crexi and Brevitas, Office Space, By Proxy, offering commercial listings again nationwide. In addition, CompStack is really a unique resource for commercial comps. It is really kind of a model that is unique where it uses what we call kind of crowdsourcing to get commercial comps. And as a member of the National Association of Realtors, you receive 500 tokens to obtain comps, but you can also submit comps. So it's a unique feature, and Janelle and our training team, we have lots of great resources to dive into some of these features a little bit further. ICSC is a great partner providing retail listings. Catalyst, a part of Moody's organization, provides listings through some of their resources and partnerships, as well as Land Broker Co-op, who provides land, ranch, farm type of listings. So you'll see a wealth of information on the commercial side that you may not have realized on the RPR platform. In addition to that, really critical pieces that come into play, even as we start to talk about the script writer, will be with some of our demographic and psychographic and consumer spending information through our trusted partner, Esri. They are really one of the largest company, working with over 50% of Fortune 500 companies, providing a wealth of consumer information. So you'll see that really on display with the AI scriptwriter tool that Janelle will be presenting. Off-market properties through ICE, but also traffic count information is available. We have a financial analysis tool that can help whether you're flipping a short-term, long-term lease on a residential property or a large multifamily property. Tenant data, climate risk information through different resources, as well as points of interest through, again, Esri, census data, and a partner, newer partner, Precisely. So again, much of this you'll see on the commercial side of RPR, but some of this is also available on the residential side when it comes to traffic counts, climate data, and points of interest, as well as valuate. So just keep that in mind. And this is really just to highlight some of the unique partnerships that we do have on the commercial side of RPR.
Well,
So
thank you for that. And, this seems like a really good time to mention that because this is a hybrid class, we're going to be researching some commercial and residential data. As Andrea mentioned, we use our traffic counts in residential research all the time. When I'm presenting a listing presentation class and maybe the property backs up to a road, my realtors want to know how busy is that road. We use those traffic counts to analyze the location of some residential properties. And in terms of Precisely, that is really helpful when our residential buyers are relocating and maybe they want to be close to shopping centers or golf courses or hospitals. We're able to apply all of those great points of interest directly to the RPR maps. So some of this is kind of interchangeable, works for both residential and commercial. And since Andrea just went ahead and explained where we get our commercial data from, I thought it would be a good time to mention, in terms of residential data, we partner with about 97% of the MLSs nationwide. So that's fantastic news. Not only do we get our residential info from MLSs, we get our off-market property from our partnership with ICE. And then we have a tremendous amount of US Census data. So if we're trying to analyze a neighborhood, the population of children, things like that, what are the schools like? We have all of that data for you in one platform. So there's a tremendous amount of data here, and I'm grateful that you spend an hour getting to know us a little bit better. Anything else you want to add, Andrea, before I move on?
No, not at this time. And I'll just say, if you do have questions, feel free to put that into the Q&A, and we'll make sure to try to answer those questions either live or I can do so directly to you.
Yeah,
So,
keep us busy.
Janelle.
Andrea's in, where are you? Texas. I'm in Florida. We're both alone in a room. So ask away. Don't be shy. If there's something that we don't cover that you want us to show you, please don't hesitate to ask. So I'm going to begin. I'm going to actually go ahead and shut my camera off now and just focus on the content. In terms of our script writing tools, and you guys are kind of getting the very first glimpse at some of the new add-ons that we've just introduced with our script writing tools. But before we launch into that, I want to talk about what you can use with your script writers, your use cases, turning data into dialogue. You can quickly and easily run an AI script completely aligned with your local market trends. And from there, you can take that script complete with hashtags and emojis and turn that into a social media or blog post. So it directly aligns with our local market trends. And for commercial, it's going to align with our trade area analysis. We are also using our scriptwriter tools to educate sellers on pricing strategies. Some sellers are still thinking they're in a really, really strong seller's market. And in some parts of the country, that's not really the case. We're going to spend some time analyzing your local market. So if anybody has a zip code that they're particularly interested in, I know the chat has been disabled, but you can certainly go ahead and send me that zip code in the Q&A, and I'll do my best to demo that. But we want to use our market trends and our script writing tool to educate sellers on pricing so they don't make the mistake of overpricing their property. And conversely, we want to use our scriptwriter for preparing a buyer, whether they're purchasing a residential property or they're a commercial investor looking to present an offer. We also have the ability for prospecting for both buyers and sellers. We can take our scriptwriter tools, and as I mentioned, we can generate a social media post. We even have a video script where you can create content for you to craft a video campaign. And then, of course, we're going to finish up with our commercial trade area analysis and generate a script specifically aligned with the local commercial trade area data. So here's our agenda today. We're going to generate a residential and commercial script. We're going to explore the different options in terms of buyers, sellers, investors. We even have messaging for first-time home buyers or sellers looking to downsize. There's all kinds of different messaging content that we're going to create. We have 4 different tones of speech, brand new to the RPR platform in just the last couple of weeks. We went from 3 to 4 different tones. You can be conversational, engaging, very, very professional. You have all of those different tone options. And then you also have multiple audience choices. I mentioned earlier, buyers, sellers, but you also have investors, first-time home buyers, things like that. So we're going to explore the different audience and speech options. We're going to create content for both social media. You can create a script for a video campaign, emails. And let me stop here and just remind you, if you're not familiar with the RPR report features, there are 8 different residential reports and 3 commercial reports. And every one of these reports that you have access to in RPR, absolutely for free, can be customized. So what that means is you could take one of the scripts that we generate and you can upload that as one of the pages in the reports that you're handing off to your customers. So let's use a scenario. Perhaps you're going on a listing appointment. You're crafting a CMA in RPR. You want to include a script, maybe right after your cover letter, explaining to your seller what's happening in that local market. So all of the reports that I'm going to show you today are customizable. You can add your own pages or you can remove some of our pages. But at the end of the day, you have complete control of what you want to include and present to your customers. And also, one more thing about our reports. Keep in mind, all of the reports are postable. You can share the reports to social media. You can print them, download them. One click will take you and your reports directly to social media. So there's some great marketing resources, as I mentioned. And we also have the RPR Market Trends Scriptwriter for residential in the mobile app. It's not there yet for commercial, but it is available for residential on the mobile app. So this is a quick glimpse of something that you have access to on our Learning Center. I mentioned earlier, we're going to generate a script specifically for a video. But that doesn't mean the work is done. That means we'll give you the content, you can read it, you can customize it, but you still need the tools to create a good, solid video campaign. So there is an ebook available to you, and maybe Andrea can pop in the chat this link that we're seeing here, or I'll take you to our Learning Center and show you where you can access all of the additional learning tools that we offer. So I love this because a lot of times we give this script writing class on a national webinar and folks get a little confused. They think, well, where's my video? But you actually have to record yourself or have somebody record you. All we can offer you is the tools and the script to help guide you. Okay, now I mentioned the mobile app. I'm a huge advocate of our mobile app. Let me just tell you why. When you're working with residential clients, you can build a buyer's tour. So if you're researching for a buyer, you're showing property over the weekend, you can quickly send them a buyer tour with all of the properties you're planning to show in the order that you want to show them right from the mobile app. They can then decide, well, maybe take this one off the list, or maybe add one in, or maybe rearrange the order. You also can create a CMA directly from the mobile app. And I'm taking a little extra time on this slide, hoping you guys will grab the QR code, because once you've got that mobile app working for you, it really is valuable when you are working with a buyer and they maybe shift gears and they change their price range completely. You can pivot with them and start looking at properties from the mobile and maybe set up some showings from the mobile app. So CMAs, social media posts, research opportunities, plenty of all of that is available on our mobile. Now, this is a glimpse at what mobile looks like. I mentioned we can conduct searches on our mobile app, create our buyer's tour. We can access market trends. You can see on the middle here, our market trends. Also, we have the script writing tool on the mobile and the share option. When we get to our share option, whether you are on the desktop or on mobile, you can share these local market trends for your area to whatever social media platform you prefer. Now, for Instagram users, if you're going to be sharing your market trends to Instagram, we really prefer you do it from the mobile app because it's quite a bit easier for you since it is all photo generated. So keep that in mind. You got your market trends on mobile, you've got your script writing tool, and you have your share option. Okay, any questions about the mobile app, Andrea, before we just launch right into our site? How are we doing out there?
No, we're looking good. No questions at this point, and I did post a link in the chat if anyone wants to grab that. And again, this will be recorded.
Thank you. Okay, perfect. All right, so nobody really sent me a zip code in the Q&A, so I'm just going to go ahead and go with what we've got. I want to talk to you about a few different options that we are going to work through today. First off, I want to point out, because we are going to be focused on both residential and commercial, on the top left of your screen, you see where we have the toggle option. Now, when we're researching residential properties, when we go over to our property type in the center of our screen, these are the different property types that you can search in the residential arena on RPR. You've got your single family, mobile homes, multifamily, land, condos, and townhouses. Now, keep an eye out for multifamily and land, because oftentimes listing agents of these property types will list them in both residential and commercial. And for that reason, when I leap back over to commercial, and then I go back to my property type, we're going to see a whole different set of property types. Now, we could select all of these different commercial properties, office space, restaurants, retail, or just keep in mind, here's your multifamily and land again. So wherever you are on the platform, if you're searching for these two property types, be sure to keep your options open and look both in residential and commercial. One more thing I want to mention while we're on our search bar, under our type and status, this is where it very quickly and easily we can take our search from properties that are actively for sale, for a lease, or both, or we can completely eliminate that and just start searching in our public records database. So I just wanted to point that out. That is where you would access the change from active inventory to off-market properties. We also do offer the ability to search withdrawn, canceled, and expired listings as well. We do offer a great prospecting class on how to build a geographic farm list. If you're interested in learning more about that, we can show you where you can access that. Okay, so few things before we get started. Let's talk about getting your profile set up. And the reason I'm going to start here is because when we're generating our scripts, we want the content to be completely customized with your information. So be certain at the top right of your home page, click on your profile, go down to profile and verify that your picture and your logo are set up. Mine's already set. Contact information is there. Make sure your phone number, email address, websites are all set and ready to go. Also, include your license number. In that scenario I mentioned a little earlier where we're talking about crafting a CMA, we want to include our license number on all the cover letters of all of our reports. Just adds that little extra touch of professionalism. Okay, let's go back home, recap one more time, get this set up. We're going to go up to the top right, make sure we've selected profile, and from there we've uploaded our photo, logo, and verified our contact information. Now on the home page, far left of our screen, if you are not seeing your broker branding when you have logged in, we want you to reach out to us. I gave you guys our email addresses. We want to make sure your brokerage branding is set up, and it's a very easy process for you to complete. But that way, your broker's branding is set on the cover letter as well as your personal branding on your cover letters for your reports. So keep that in mind. If you're interested in learning more, Andrea can give you a link to our broker branding. And look at that, she just did. Thank you, Andrea. Okay, so today we're talking about script writing, and we're talking about it for residential and commercial, and they're completely different processes when we're looking at residential versus commercial scripts. We're going to start with residential, and I will let you know right off the bat, in terms of the script, you need to be where the market trends are. Residential market trends at the top of our home screen. Click on research. We could go in and start a property search or access the map. But for residential market trends, this is where you need to be in order to access the script. Now, there are many different places that you can find these market trends. This is the first and easiest place, but we can also access it from our home screen when we set up My Markets on our home page. And I encourage you to do that because you can set up as many different zip codes as you would like. And to access the market trends for this particular zip code, all I have to do is click on the map on my home screen, and guess what? There's my market trends one more time. So not only can you access the market trends for your area on the research tab, also on your My Markets down here on our homepage, but you can also access it from a subject property. So let me just zoom out a little bit and show you what that looks like. So from our homepage, if I want to investigate this property, my buyer is interested in Southeast Claiborne Street. If I click on the view full details, guess what I'm going to find? Market trends again. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. You can access it from research on the home screen, your My Markets, and from a subject property. Now, it does not have to be a listed property. This property came on the market 9/21 at $695. The market trends are available here. I can also access all of these tabs from an off-market property as well. So if you are going on a listing presentation and you want to analyze the local market trends for an off-market property, you will be able to do so. Okay, so that's a few of the different ways you can access your market trends. Let's just start off by grabbing a zip code and starting from the easiest place. From the top of our screen, we'll go to residential market trends. And I'm going to go ahead and use the zip code 98682. Once I type in that zip code, there's my Vancouver. Go ahead and select that. And now we're looking at the market trends. A couple of things we're going to spend some time exploring here. On our market trends, this is telling me, because I went to the research tab and I did not access the market trends from a subject property, the market trends research defaulted to all of these different property types, including single family homes, condos, and townhouses. Now, if I had accessed market trends from a single family home, the property type would have defaulted right to single family. So remember, when you're researching market trends, you always want to be sure you're analyzing the property type that you're exploring. So let's just go ahead and see what happens to our market trends when we change that to just reflect one property type. First off, as of August 2024, and this market trend data should update very, very soon. It's typically every 30 days, so we should start seeing that happen very soon. In 98682, we are still in a strong seller's market. You have about 3 months of inventory. The list to sold price is 99.6%. Your median days on market is 24, and your median sold price is 5.25. Now, in other parts of the country, this little triangle is way down here. Really great time to buy a condo in Florida. The condo market is really shifted to a buyer's market. But up there in Vancouver, you're still sitting in a very strong seller's market, and properties are selling pretty close to asking. Now, when I change my property type and I get rid of the condos, let's see what happens to my 5.25. Does that change when I go to single family only? Now, I'm going to apply that to all the charts, and it did change. It actually changed a little bit. It went up to 540. Median days on market is 24. List to sold price is 99.6%. And we have almost 3 months of inventory. Still in a good seller's market, but we have some inventory to clear out. Now, while we're here on our market trends, remember, this is where you're always going to see your script writing option, your property type options, and your share button. So let's go ahead and take a look at our share button. If I just want to post this entire chart that you're seeing on your screen directly to social media, X, LinkedIn, or click on more and I can download it to my computer, very easy to do. Just click on Facebook and it's going to send it right on its way. Now you have to be logged in to social media for it to share, but it is a shareable market trend chart. Okay, everybody with me so far? We went to research, we entered the zip code, we came up with the market trends for 98682, and we changed our property type. Before I go to our script, I want to just scroll down a little bit and show you, not only do you have a high level overview of your market trends, you also have all of this additional data that can really help guide you and your customers. So let's just take a look at pending list price per square foot in your market. $300 a square foot, median price per square foot for properties that have sold, 304. With every one of these charts that you're seeing on your screen, you have a share button. As long as you see that share button, you can take that graphic and send it directly on its way to social. But remember, if you want to go ahead and post to Instagram, your best bet is to do that from the mobile app. Okay, so we have our share button. We also have a print option. You can print this entire market trend data in one complete printable, and you can include that as part of your presentation with your customers. But now we're going to go into our script writing tool. So remember, always need to be on the market trends to access your script writing tool. So let's go in and take a look now at what our script writing tool is going to look like. So we mentioned earlier, we have 4 different tone options. We can be professional, engaging, conversational, or even casual and friendly. To the right is our audience. We have all of these audience options: buyers, sellers, both, buyers that are looking to move up, sellers that are looking to downsize. We even have a script for sellers that are facing some type of a distressed status, perhaps a short sale or pre-foreclosure. So you get to choose your tone, you get to choose your audience, and then you get to decide, what do you want to do with your script? I mentioned earlier, you could create a video script. Let's go ahead and run one. We'll make this script real engaging, and we're going to make our script for our sellers. We're working in a seller's market. So if you're a TikTok user or you want to post a video to Instagram, watch how easy it is for me to take these stats, these market trends, and create a video script. Now that'll take a few seconds to generate. So I'm going to ask Andrea if there's anything she wants me to add.
You know, Janelle, I would just say that, our feedback has always been that if you've been hesitant in working towards how do you apply AI into your business, this has got to be the easiest, most practical tool that our members see in really implementing AI and using ChatGPT. So you all saw how quickly that option, that script just came up to us.
Yes, it surely did. And remember at the very beginning of class, I mentioned the importance of getting your profile set up because look at this. It's got my content information, my contact information built into the script. And usually at this point, we get a lot of questions. Well, there's several realtors on the call today. No two script should ever look the same. They should be unique every time. So just because the data, maybe there's multiple realtors in the same zip code running their trends, script writing tool, you will see some differences in each script. But
And
take a look. This is the video. Go ahead, Andrea.
oh, no, I was just going to say too, and with any, AI tool and script like this, you want to review that, right? Put even more of your personality into that. Review it for clarity and for accuracy. And with a click, you could regenerate it as well again, couldn't you? And then it regenerates and it'll be slightly modified.
Yeah, that's a great point. Always read it, okay? Because this is a video script. This is giving you some suggestions on what you should be doing, standing in front of a beautiful backdrop. And then it gives me, here's what it tells me to say. Hey there, sellers. Janelle Van here, your friendly neighborhood realtor, bringing you the latest market update for August in Vancouver. Cut to a graphic showing the current market data. Now, this is where that ebook really will come in handy. We give you the content to read, but you cutting to graphics, you may need a little bit of support for that. So grab that ebook. Just remember that our scripts are completely aligned with those market trends. That's why you won't find the script writer anywhere else. You'll see that on the market trend page. You can see here, it breaks down the data. Let's dive right in, shall we? Currently, we have a 2.94 month supply of inventory in the Vancouver area. It's up 68.97% over the last 12 months. And what does that mean for our customers? Well, it's a great time to consider listing your home if you've been on the fence. So definitely play around with your scripts, create your video. It's given you some ideas, but again, like Andrea said, you always want to read and verify that you're comfortable with the verbiage. And then once you've generated your script, notice you can copy, you can export this to a Word document. I mentioned earlier, obviously a video script is not going to work for your reports, but you can export your script directly to a PDF, save that to your computer. And then when you generate one of the reports in RPR, you can add that as a custom page. We can send this guy right on over to Google Docs. I could email it to myself. So let's go back. If there's no questions, let's go back and do another one. Let's close this guy out. And I'm going to show you one of my favorite ones for residential. We're going to create a script. In this particular case, we're going to go with engaging, and we're going to go with our buyers, but we're going to make this a social media campaign. And it's going to look quite a bit different than our video script. The social campaign is designed for you to simply copy and paste directly to your social media platforms. Now, when we get our social media campaign, you're noticing quite a bit of a difference here in terms of we've got emojis, we've got hashtags, attention buyers in Vancouver. Did you know that there is currently a almost 3 month supply of inventory in the market? So it's breaking down those key market trend details and giving you the opportunity to copy and paste the entire thing. I can take the whole thing and post it to social. Or what we have a lot of agents do is they just copy a paragraph a day. Maybe you send one to your story or one to your main news feed on social media. Or maybe you copy and paste this and include it as part of a direct mail campaign if you're reaching out to try to convert tenants into becoming buyers. So the social media campaign looks quite a bit different than our video script. And if you're not an emoji person, you can totally customize this any way you like. So just be mindful that it's coming up with the hashtags for you. If this is not something that you want to include, just simply back it out and it's gone. So that's what our social media campaign looks like. Specifically for buyers, very engaging. Now, if I were to be really professional with my buyers, I would probably lose some of these emojis. Now, the final one I want to run for you in terms of our market trends for our CMAs. Whoops, I should have gone. I did not want to do that. Let me go back one step. I want to create a script in preparation for meeting with a seller that I can include in my CMA. So the best option that I have found when looking to add something to a CMA is to keep it very professional, or we could go conversational. I'm going to go with conversational. I'm going to make my audience specifically sellers, because I'm going to incorporate this in my CMA, my listing presentation. I'm not posting it to social, and I'm not looking to create a video. All I want to do is just analyze the metrics and be able to really have that dialogue with my sellers when I'm meeting with them. So when we analyze the metrics, it's going to look a little bit different. We've lost the emojis and the hashtags. We're keeping it conversational. But remember, as a seller, it's important to understand how these various real estate metrics are interconnected in order to make informed decisions about listing your property. Let's break down the data to see how they correlate. So again, if I want to include this as part of my CMA, I just need to export it to a PDF. And then when it's time to create my CMA, I go ahead and upload that entire page to my CMA. That is a quick glimpse of our market trend script writer for residential properties, single family in 98682. Are there any questions? Let me pause and see how we're doing, Andrea. Looks like we have a quiet group today, so that's okay. So let's talk about the other options that we mentioned earlier in terms of getting to those market trends. We started up here under our research tab. Mentioned earlier, to set up your My Markets, I have this 97236 zip code set up, and this is showing me the boundaries of the zip code and all of the status changes that have happened in that market in the last 10 days. So be sure to click on add multiple markets to your home page, and you can go ahead and then run a market trend inquiry right from here. So I have Ellie. Ellie had a thought. The group chat is disabled. Yes, it is disabled, but we're here to serve. So if you have questions, send them to me in the Q&A, or if you have a particular zip code that you would like me to demo live, I'm happy to do that. So for right now, we're just going to take a look at this 97236 zip code. Remember, when I click on the boundaries in here, I can access the market trends again. I can create my market activity report, even create a neighborhood report for that entire zip code. And this is going to reflect all of the changes that have happened. You have 6 new listings in the last 10 days. 13 properties have gone pending. You can see them here on the map. Shirley is under contract. Nothing is distressed, and 4 properties have closed in the last 10 days. So you can see this property recently closed a couple of days ago. Now, from here, if I go back to my 97236 and I click on it and view the market trends, I'm going to be again defaulted to those different property types, taking me to single family condos and townhouses. But if I just want to look at single family, I just need to change that up here under property type, go to single family, and it changed a little bit. There's my months of inventory, list to sold, median days on market, and our median sold price. And again, I have my script writing tool and my share option. Okay, let's go back, and I'm going to take you one more time. This time I'm going to take you to a subject property. Look at this beautiful house here. I was just enamored with this property, Andrea. When I was looking at it this morning, I love the architecture. It's so unique from what we have here in Florida.
That's right. And
Isn't it beautiful? Yeah, go ahead.
It is. And there is one very good question here that I think would be great to answer live. And maybe you can do that as you look at this property. From the scriptwriter in the presentation to the seller, does it export both the script and charts to the PDF?
Okay, so the market trends, we're talking about our script writer. let's see, for our scriptwriter tool, you can export it directly to a PDF. When we share all of these market trends, the best way to get that in a PDF is to print at the top. And that's going to give us all of our market trends, all beautifully laid out for us. You can see them on your screen, and then save that to a PDF. Is that helpful? Does that answer your question, Andrea?
Yes, I believe
Okay.
it does. And so what we're really saying is the script is a separate export from the charts. You know, at this point, you would really have to do those in two separate steps, but pretty easy, as Janelle just showed. And also, Janelle, as you do that or afterwards, maybe with one of the charts, give them that little hint of the three dots there to the side. So if you only want one or two of the charts, correct?
Yeah, that's a
Then when
great
you
point.
hit print, you can eliminate if you don't want all 6 or 7 of those. So you see what she's doing here.
Yes. So if I, there's so many different uses for this. If I want to share recently sold data, this is useful. Median sold price per square foot, current 279. I could take this entire chart, one chart here, and share that directly to wherever I want, or I can save it to my
Including
computer.
right
What's that?
there, more in PDF. So
Yeah,
it is a two-step process.
right. Correct. Or if I don't want to include this, and maybe I want to include the market trends, I have sold public record data, median price per square foot on the public record sales, listing inventory. If I'm not including all of these additional charts, and I just take that 3 little dots over to the far right, and I can just collapse and remove that from my market trend complete list. Does that make sense? Let's go back to the top. Does that answer your question, Andrea? I think we're good.
I think so. I think one of our attendees was asking that question. So
Okay, perfect.
hopefully
There
that.
is so much to unpack here on this subject property, but unfortunately, I don't have time to go through it. But I would encourage you, when you're on the RPR site, really take a deep dive into the map tools. We've talked about the market trends. You can refine the value here. You can access 2 different CMAs that you can generate, very simple professional CMAs that you can generate. And then we can also analyze the local neighborhood. Now, I mentioned earlier, there's another way we can get to market trends. We went to our research tab, we went to our homepage, but when we're looking at a neighborhood summary, you're also going to see the market trends for the entire neighborhood as well. We can analyze the housing stats, the people. Look at this. You have 38% are renting in that zip code. This is a prime market to do some outreach for tenants. 38% of the population is renting in 97236. I would definitely put this on my radar if I was looking to do some outreach for buyers, trying to convert them from tenants to be home buyers. So you can access your market trends from our neighborhood tab as well as our property details page. And one more thing, I'm going to take you down here to our map. When we go to our property details page, not only are we seeing there's an open house, we've got the listing information, we have some of those additional resources that Andrea mentioned earlier in class, the investment analysis tool, the ability to perform a climate risk check. Above that is our map, and the map is a class all on its own. We can go in and add all of these different geographical overlays, create new searches. But over to the right is where you can access the traffic counts. Here's our driving tool. We've got the points of interest that we mentioned earlier, where we can apply to our map, golf courses, restaurants, shopping centers, all of these different points of interest we can add to our map. But I also wanted to point out that from an off-market property, here's our subject property that was currently listed. If I go next door and I want to analyze the property just next door owned by Benjamin Martin, if I click on the view full details, guess what I'm going to see? It's off market since 2013, but if I'm prepping for a listing presentation, I have the ability to access the market trends again for an off-market property. So there they are. Now this time I access market trends from the property. So the default property type went directly to single family. I didn't need to switch it up. The platform was smart enough to know that I'm researching market trends for a single family home. So very easily, I could go ahead if I want to include the script in my CMA, or I just want to share this to social, I have that option as well. So that's a very quick overview of how we can access market trends from the RPR side of residential. Do we have any questions before I move on to our commercial search?
I think we're good for now.
All right. I also kind of wanted to point out that on our location bar, you can go in 98. Let's go in and look at 97236 as a zip code. You can search for properties. You have the price filter options. If you see a property, I love showing this because the 19 properties that just came up in that zip code, I selected a price range between 5 and 800. They're beautifully laid out for me. And if my buyer is interested in this particular property, Southeast 5E Drive, I can click on it. Again, I can have access to all of that great data. Again, the list price, the realtor's valuation model, and of course, our market trends, which of course is going to take us to our script writer. So I just wanted to point that out. I think now would probably be a good time to shift gears and start focusing on our commercial script. I did run a first-time homebuyer script earlier for Portland. Just wanted to point out to you that you can copy and paste this, or in this particular scenario, I went ahead and just used the copy to Google Docs option, and there is my first-time homebuyer script specifically for our first-time homebuyers in that market. And it gives them some good advice and explains kind of the market trend details and how that can impact their purchase. Okay, so let's get over to our commercial. Let's shift gears, look at our commercial side of things. Now for commercial script writing tools, we need to find a subject property. So does anybody have a specific address or a zip code that they want me to search? Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and pull one up. We're going to take a peek at this particular property, 12215 Southeast Powell Drive. Now, we've gone over many different ways to access the script writer for residential. For script writing tools for commercial, it's very, very different. For our script writer, we need to access a local trade area. So when I'm doing a commercial search for properties, I still have my location, my status types, my property type, and my price filters. Or I can just enter in a specific address like I just did. Now, for us to access the subject property information, this is going to be my property detail page. This listing agent has done a great job putting in all of those points of interest, but not every realtor does that. We can go ahead and go to our map down here at the bottom and apply those points of interest as well. When I am analyzing the trade area for this particular property and I click on trade area, we're going to have so much data, completely different from the residential data. We start off with the attribute summary for the 97236 zip code. We've got the median household income, the median age range, the source of the data, the total population, and even the top dominant Esri tapestry segment. We've got all of the demographic facts and stats, married, age range, income levels. If I go down here to home values, I can see the median estimated home value for the 97236 zip code is about 445. And then as I scroll down a little bit more, I can see all of this great consumer segmentation, the life mode, the urbanization. What do these folks do for a living? How much money do they make? What kind of cars do they drive? Even what kind of TV programs they're interested in. All of this great trade area data can really help you guide your commercial investors. Here's their median household income. the median age range is about 36, which really kind of syncs up with the media. These folks are watching PBS Kids. They probably have lots of young kids in that area. So we've got the top, go ahead.
Janelle, yeah, sorry to interrupt, but as you see the type of data here, just to reinforce, if you're working with a commercial client, obviously it's much different than when you're working with a residential, home seller or buyer. So as you look at this data, be very cognizant and focused on its use case. When you're looking at a commercial investor or, representing a tenant, the type of focus is much different. And so this data is appropriate. Or if you're working on a development project, or maybe you're interacting with, local chamber of commerce or school district and representing a particular development, this information that you get to understand that marketplace and what's considered the Esri tapestry data is really critical. This isn't really appropriate in a residential type of setting and client representation. So you'll see that, but what we've seen is that there are so many realtors in a variety of markets, whether it be tertiary, secondary type markets, that really are playing a role both as a residential practitioner, as well as many times identifying and working with commercial investors and clients. So just keep that in mind as to the use case where this data is appropriate for you.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Andrea. I'm glad you mentioned that. This data is specifically for commercial, should not be used for the residential arena. I will mention, though, I have a good friend here in Tampa. She's been in residential real estate for about as long as I have, 30 years. And she just sold a $6.5 million commercial project. So, this is a great resource for realtors, keeping your options open. You've got all of this great data here, whether you're representing your residential clients, crafting CMAs, or you're searching for a commercial investor. You've got great data. And I also want to point out, while I have you, all of these different little help bubbles will kind of take you into what these life mode, what the definitions are. What is a consumer segmentation? If you're not quite sure, click on the little help bubble and it will explain the different market segments and how it's broken down.
And
I also,
I'll tell you what, I will, sorry to interrupt there, Janelle, but I will put a link in chat as well. That is a nice companion document that really reviews the Esri data in more detail if you really want to understand that particular element of our resources. Okay?
yeah. And while she's doing that, I also just want to point out that, again, commercial and residential are completely different, but we have tools here in RPR that when you click on your research tab and you go down to your commercial site selection, this is where this data really comes in handy, because if you have an investor looking to open up a business and they're pretty new to an area, they're looking at you to help guide them where the perfect location would be for that business. So you can go in and perform a commercial site selection based on the consumer attributes of the business. So there's some really great tools in here. We do offer a class specifically on this commercial site selection tool, where it kind of packages it all up together. It takes the data and it shows you where the perfect location would be for the client's specific business model. So it packages it all up together. Now, if you want to take all of this information that I just showed you and package it into one report, anytime you see this Create Report tab at the top right of our screen, it's going to default directly to the report we're looking for. Now, I mentioned several times today, we have the ability to upload our custom pages to our reports. All you have to do when you want to add a page, such as our script, is go to your Manage Custom Pages. Remember, your script must be in a PDF format, and from there, you can go ahead and upload the script that you've generated. So it knows I'm looking for a trade area report. go to manage custom pages down at the bottom. All of this data here is that info that we set up in your profile. And then you can always customize if there's pages that you want to exclude or include. So let's go back. Let me shut my camera off and go back to our script. So we had to take you through the process of accessing the trade area information in order to create the script. So as you can imagine, based on our residential scripts, these commercial scripts are going to be perfectly aligned with the data that you're seeing on your screen. So let's take a look. We click on Create Script. And now we have a whole bunch of different options, completely different. Our tone, professional, conservative, engaging, and conversational. Our audience selection, city planners, investors, business owners. We'll select investors. The data, you can choose just the primary segment, or you can include the income, the housing data, the population. You can choose what data you want to include as part of your script. So remember, you've got all of the different tone options, the different audience selections, and then you've got a one-page summary, a detailed report, or you can create a presentation outline. So let's just take a quick look at our professional script aligned with that local trade area data. We're just going to do a one-page summary and see what we come up with. And this is going to take a little bit longer than residential. The data is a little bit more in depth, so it's going to take a few seconds longer. And Andrea, we've got about 4 minutes left. Is there any questions? You guys have been a quiet group. I'm happy to answer any question.
We've had a couple of good questions come through on the Q&A that I've shared with all. I've also been popping in some links on the chat as well for different learning resources. So that's available as well. And
This is taking long. So you know what? Fortunately, I kind of planned on that. So I've already run ahead and run the commercial investor script for that zip code. So look at this. Welcome to the vibrant trade area of Portland, Oregon, a dynamic and diverse neighborhood with a population of 39,682. So it's going to take all of that data that we just went through and put it together in a beautiful script. And then you get to decide what you want to do with it. Do you want to post it? Do you want to include it as a letter? Maybe you're doing some direct mail campaigns, or perhaps you want to go ahead and email this to your customers. You got lots and lots of different uses. Just remember, for our commercial script, we have to be on our trade area. And let's see, from our trade area, I went ahead and accessed that from a specific property. So I wanted to point out, before I let you guys go, I want to show you a couple of additional things that you can use your script writing tools for. I mentioned our reports. Now, when we are on our homepage, you'll notice we have 8 different residential reports, 3 commercial reports. Each one of these reports is customizable. So you can add your scripts to any one of the reports. Our valuation workbook and our seller's report are the 2 CMAs. You can add it to a property report if you're working with a buyer and you're just trying to give them as much information. You can add those scripts to any of these reports that you're seeing. So that's one thing. The other thing I want to point out is when we are looking at local residential market trends, we have created for you Canva templates that this data that you're seeing here perfectly can fit into. So if you're interested in accessing the Canva templates that are perfectly aligned with these market trends, I'm going to take you to the top of our screen where we go to our Learn. And the Canva templates are so popular that we even have a direct tab right there. So we can just click on Canva templates. That's going to take us to our Learning Center. And those market trends that I just showed you, any one of these templates are here for you. You're free. You can customize. If you don't like the color green, you can customize. You can change these out. But most importantly, folks, these market trends are all set for you. All you have to do is run the data, select the template that you like, and customize. And as I scroll on down, I'll let you know, you also have some resume builders. You've got client testimonials you can access, pre-listing and home buying checklists, all here for you on our Learning Center. So I love that. Let's go home, take you back to our Learning Center and just point out that if you are interested in learning anything more about some of the topics that I briefly mentioned today, such as our CMAs, if you click on CMAs under your topics, all of our previously recorded webinars will be here for you, as well as printables and tutorials. If you're interested in learning more about the Canva templates, and who isn't, right? They're just so popular, they're free, and you're not really sure how to customize those, we have a webinar just for you. Click on Canva, and there's a complete webinar on how to access the templates, customize them, and share them. So I just wanted to point out, you do have your Learning Center. Here's your ebooks. One of the ebooks that Andrea mentioned was on the video content creation, and you can access that here under our learning types. So there we go, Andrea. I think that's a wrap for us. It's been an hour. Are there any other questions that I can answer?
There is one that I think is really important to address again. And as we started to look at the commercial consumer data, I think it's really important to refocus on this. Again, the question is there any concern with using the commercial data with residential audiences in terms of discriminating steering? Yes. That's why we have said, look very specifically at how you're using the commercial data. And for commercial clients, when you're researching and working with developers, investors in a commercial arena, this is not appropriate, data to be really guiding and presenting to your residential clients. So keep that in mind. And that's one reason why that data is very specifically, residing on the commercial side of RPR. But many of you are working both in residential and commercial, but always do keep in mind your fair housing guidelines and the appropriate use of the commercial trade area data, the in-depth consumer information, and its appropriate use. So
Yes.
just to reinforce that. And again, thank you so much, Janelle, for all that you've covered. Again, this is more a way to make sure that you are aware of all these great tools and features that RPR has. And I would also say that the Learning Center that she presented, there are so many resources, no matter how you like to learn, whether it's a live webinar, a recorded webinar, quick start guides, ebooks, it's all there for you, definitely.
Yeah, we do have a class dedicated just to commercial. I would really love to share that with you, but I also going to show you one more quick thing before I let you go, since there's still some folks hanging on. When we're on our commercial, let me just reinforce what she said. Do not use the commercial data for residential. That's just going to open up a whole can of worms for you, and that's not good practice. So just keep them separate. But I also want to show you, when we get a subject property on the map and we have all of these map tools over to the right, let me show you how quick and easy it is for me to show my customer who's interested in this commercial property what the traffic counts are on this busy road. Grab your driving tool, click on traffic counts, apply, and look at that. In seconds, I was able to share with my potential buyer, on average, about 18,544 cars per day are traveling right by this subject property. So join us for additional classes. Like Andrea said, we have an entire class dedicated to commercial, CMAs, map tools. What you want to do to learn more is get to your Learning Center, go to webinars by date. We offer 11 different classes every month, everything from mobile app, prospecting, advanced map tools, CMAs, all the great stuff. And if you can't join us live, but you're interested in learning more about market trends, you always have the ability to register and then have the on-demand option. So hopefully I will see you guys in future classes. They're here for you. They're free, and we love to get to know you guys and help you grow your business. So thank you for joining us today. And Andrea, as always, you're just a joy, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you. And thank you again, Katie, for the invite. And have a great day, everyone.
Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.